Hello there, everybody. You probably already know my name if you're watching this video, but I'm just here enjoying the society around us, dismantling and just analyzing what I see in front of me. Here I am, just being my edgy old little self, and today I'm going to talk about the LGBT community. Now, this is a topic that, in all honesty, I have had a lot of hesitance touching upon due to my background as a Christian, due to the fact that Christianity has kind of stigmatized them and, in many cases outright persecuted, them, at least in the sense of America. And, we do need to acknowledge that number one, we've been very mean to them. Number two, that there is a significant amount of hypocrisy on our side because, we're willing to point to in the Bible where it says that it's wrong, but we seem to have a almost blind eye to like almost the next verse where it knocks on divorce, in kind of the same light that it knocks on homosexuality. I'm just saying it was somewhere in I think Colossians or Second Corinthians, somewhere in one of Paul's epistles in the New Testament. I don't remember off the top of my head, but the point is, how many people in the church, not only people but pastors and leaders, have had divorces, one divorce or even multiple divorces. Now, is that to say that people who have had divorces should be stigmatized to the same extent? No, it's not. Now there are some people, like I think maybe Steve Anderson, will probably, acknowledge that and, probably extend the same, you know, stigma against homosexuality to people who have had divorces. Now, I don't know if he specifically would do that, but he and people like him in the church, kind of, seem like they would. And by the way, Steve Anderson is, one of the, more well-known, popular fundamentalist pastors. So, I do feel, comfortable putting his name out there, since many other people have done it way before me. So I really don't, think that, I should have to, hide it with that specific thing. But, getting back to where I'm at, with, Christians talking about the sanctity of marriage, there really isn't that much sanctity of marriage in America when, you can divorce and when it's mostly about tax benefits. Let's be honest, it's about the money. In America, like 90% of, any issues, comes down to money, follow the money. And, homosexuals, they just want those tax benefits, and people who want, either male or female, they just, want the tax benefits, just give it to them. And, you know, given, the high divorce rate, within our culture, we've got, bigger issues to deal with, with in our own circles. And yes, I am, purposely making this, during the, Pride Month, it's especially, with this year, given that there was a Supreme Court decision, I think, that said that the part of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 that, applied to sex, also applied to like sexual orientation, given the fact that, if I'm an employer and, someone who is gay comes and works for me and I fire them for being gay, that's, you're a man who likes a man. And, you know, you know, it comes from the fact that he is a man. If it was a woman who likes a man, there's no issue. So, that's where we're at. And, that could be a whole series of just kind of unpacking, the church and homosexuality. And, there are some parts of the church, that, are kind of on their way and trying to, work through it and acknowledge it. I was doing missions work in Wisconsin about 2 years ago, and I remember the host church. They talked about how their convention, was kind of, in dialogue about kind of, how are they going to address it, going forward. So, I think there is some hope, but, I'm just saying, we could do better than that. Christians, we can do, better than how we have done to the homosexuals. And it's not just them, there's a bunch of, other, things we got to look at. But as someone who was one of the inheritors of the faith, we need to be able to look back and say, hey, we can do better than that. We shouldn't be weaponizing the Bible, weaponizing the gospel to, be mean to people. That's not right. Those are just some of my thoughts, and catch y'all later.